unfaithful. 51% of you sitting in this studio audience say, yes, you have been. Oh, gosh. Dr. Greer, is it possible? Do you believe monogamy is possible?
Absolutely. Monogamy is possible through hard work, communication, openness, honesty, and binding trust. And it doesn't just happen. You need to put it in place and work at it and keep it in place.
Rebecca, Joe, let's wrap up the show and make a complete circle back to you. How were you able to rebuild the trust in your relationship?
Well, it was with me. I started thinking, because she left out of fear, which I think is the biggest factor.
And the fear was what? What kind of fear?
Well, we'd have our arguments, and I'm very boisterous. When I get loud, I get loud.
Yeah,
okay?
Rebecca took the 3 kids and dashed.
Right. And I hadn't
She did.
I hadn't seen them for 16 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
And then all during that time, we had been talking about going to therapy prior to this. And the typical thing guys do, oh, I don't need no help. I can heal myself. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do.
And that was one thing that I had a hard time with, because I would go to him and ask him, can we go to counseling? Can we do this? And he would say no, he didn't need it, you know. And
you always find an excuse, you know, we don't have the money or we don't have the time.
But counseling did help you, right?
Yeah, I went on my own.
See, that's what I would suggest for Tamika and Devon down here, too, because one of the things they were saying, you know, during the commercial break was, you know, Devon kept going, she's talking about the time when we were just dating. But those things, just like Terry said, still ring in our ears, and that's part of the counseling, too, is going back, getting over that initial hurt.
Right.
Even if you've been hurt in another relationship and now you're getting ready to get married, you better deal with that stuff.
If you don't forgive the person, you're bound to it still.
Yeah. Right.
Because you never let go of it, you never release it.
You're still not
and
you didn't forgive yourself.
You become a slave to it after a while because it affects every other relationship in your life. Yes, sir.
I want to say that it's easier for girls to cheat on guys because like it's easier for a girl to find a guy who doesn't care if she got a man. You know, he'll still fool around with her. But if the girl wants to talk to a guy and he has a girl, then you know she'll be more resistant. That's number one. And two is it is. And number two, like if I'm cheating,
come on.
Like it's easier for a girl to hide when she's cheating because girls know them things.
Okay. Girls know them things. All right.
Hi, I want to ask y'all a question. Do y'all communicate? Because that is very important to communicate each other. Even though if y'all married, y'all should communicate, you know, to tell each other something like best friends. Because I myself, I'm married, but I always communicate with my husband.
You talking to us?
That's what we do now.
We are best friends. I'm his lover, his friend, his whatever he needs. I'm there to fulfill that need. And he romances me, and we have an affair. He treats me like I'm a princess.
Yeah, what do you say?
Okay,
Make it quick.
all of you here are talking about each other. What about the kids?
Yeah.
How were your kids affected?
Our children never knew. They were never involved. We kept them out of it.
Rebecca, your children certainly knew. You took your 3 children and just left town. How do you explain to the children when it's all over?
The entire time. And I mean, he's talked to the children the entire time. The children, in fact, they had come to me and talked to me about different things. We have 3 girls, and they all knew that the daddy still loves them, that it wasn't working out between daddy and I, and that there were reasons that I felt we had to leave. It upset them. They cried, and my oldest was very
But when they
angry.
look back on it, they're going to remember that mom and dad worked through those difficulties, and they are still together.
One thing I'd like to say,
Hold on one second. We'll say it right after this. Okay. In the meantime, Ivana reveals the 3 necessary ingredients in her mind to a successful relationship. Right after this. The 3 necessary ingredients for a very good marriage.
Well, 3. The best friends, definite trust, and surely a sex life.
Gotta have the sex life.
I have to get a sex life. Otherwise, what do you do? You go and look for somewhere else. No.
Ivana said, what's the point if you don't have a... Okay, anyway, sorry. And if you get mad and you leave, don't get mad, get everything, right? Rebecca, all seriously, though, because you fought very hard to keep your relationship together, as I applaud all of you couples, and even this young couple who's going to work at it. At least you have a start. The children who were involved, you had 3 children. How do you deal with that? And there was something that you wanted to say about that.
The way that I dealt with the children is I never let them stop loving him, and I never let them think that he didn't love them, because it was hurtful and it was really sad to be away from him. And in the time that we were gone, I did not communicate with him directly. I went through other people, and then I just eventually stopped doing that. And in coming back to him, it was a long story, but in coming back to him, he came to me with two things that I never told anybody. They were always right here. Nobody else knew them, and he came to me, he saw them, and the one reason that I left was from the fear of the situation, the things that were happening. And the other thing that he saw was during our marriage, before I had left even, I loved to sing, and the singing and the music, it all just stopped, and he said that everything died when that stopped. But he saw those on his own, because he saw the things that were happening. He started questioning himself. If she left, why did she leave? What was the cause?
Right,
and he realized
planting seeds and getting anything in return. You know, just letting weeds sprout up and putting walls between us.
And he saw
That's what
that on
Rose
his own.
says.
You have to water those
You have
flowers for them to bloom. You really have to.
Yeah. I got to tell you this, though. We asked the studio audience another question, and they were very honest. We asked you if you could get away with it, would you cheat? Would you cheat on your mate if nobody knew about it? And look, are you surprised with this? Most of you, more than half of you, said no. So good for you. In closing, why don't you just wrap it up? Somebody sitting at home wondering if their marriage is in trouble. What is the best way, Dr. Greer, to approach the topic?
Well, I think, you know, what the audience poll just said, if you can be true to yourself and your own values and honoring your relationship, trusting yourself and trusting your partner and working from that.
Trusting in trust.
You got trust in God.
Trust. Thanks so much, folks. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you.